Hey guys, Feuerrm here, and today I present to you the best and worst cars in each class in Asphalt 9 as of the summer 2019 update. Big thanks to Unkindly Track 31, Afiq, Rulue, GetRexon, and Flash for helping make these lists as accurate as possible. First of all, we have Class D, in which there has been some moving around in the lower portions. After some more testing, I found the BMW Z4 is actually the worst car in the game, and the 370Z is actually a bit better than the Lancer. We've got the DS E10s, followed by the Camaro, then the Cayman, and then the Lotus Elise, which is ranked higher than the Cayman now because it has some real proficiency on some tracks, like the Caribbean. The Jannetta, while not quite as good as we hoped for, is a bit better than the Elise in terms of event times, which is mainly what this list is ranked by. Then we have the Shelby and Hemi, which are extremely close in terms of performance, but I would give the Hemi a slight edge. Then we have the Porsche 911 Targa, which has high top speed but bad everything else. However, at max, it is the D-Class king on the majority of tracks when driven by a skilled player. Now we're moving on to Class C, and this is the only class that has not actually seen any new additions since the last version of this list, but since some more testing have been done, a few things have been moved around a little bit. The SRT8 is at the bottom because of that horrible nerf. I moved the ZL1 above the Homage because it does have some proficiency on certain tracks. Then we've got the Evora, followed by the Beast X and Viper ACR, edged out just slightly by the AMG and M4. These last two may be a bit harder to drive, but they can make better times overall. Then comes the Maserati Alfieri, which is sort of like the F12 TDF of C-Class. It is generally eclipsed by the Pininfarina H2 and the Acura NSX, which in turn are both bettered by the Vencer Sarth. Its nitro efficiency may be bad, but its top speed and handling are good enough that it is the king of Class C on most tracks. Now we are moving on to Class B, in which the bottom part is pretty much the same, with the 911, then the DB11, then the F-Type, then the W70, then the Ford GT. I've decided to move the CN above the Asterion because it does have a bit higher top speed and can do quite well when driven skillfully. Then we have the 488 SCG, followed by three that are sort of debatable: the F12 TDF, Sinar 1, and SLR. While the Sinar 1 is definitely slightly better than the F12 TDF, the SLR, with its better handling but lower top speed, can beat them on a lot of tracks but also loses to them on some as well. The top three should be no surprise for most people: the Corvette GS, followed by the Lamborghini Huracan, which is basically like Corvette GS plus 5, you probably know where that came from, and the Apollo N just above the Huracan. Now, the Huracan can beat the Apollo N on some tracks, but I believe the Apollo N holds the general title of King of Class B. Now on to Class A, which is likely one of the most controversial lists of them all. So the bottom half is pretty much the same. The Nismo is at the bottom, followed closely by the Vulcan. Then we have the Ferrari J50, Dodge Viper GTS, Ferrari LaFerrari, and the P1 and SV, which are very close in performance. Then we have a newcomer, the 812 Superfast, which I believe is slightly better than the SV but worse than the J. Then we have the VLF Force 1 and Porsche 918, which are almost interchangeable. They get almost the same times on all tracks, but I'll give the Porsche 918 the win here due to its proficiency on shorter tracks because of its good acceleration. Then we have the 570S, which still is behind the BC overall, but it has the highest top speed in Class A and thus can win on the very top speed-oriented tracks. Overall, the Huayra BC is the best car in Class A that you can max right now. The Aperta is slightly better than the Huayra, and the Aculone is slightly better than the Aperta on most tracks, but keep in mind, you can't really max those cars right now. Every stat of the Aperta is better than that of the Huayras except for nitro, and every stat of the Aculone is better than that of the Apertas except for handling. I've driven the Aculone at max, and it's pretty safe to say that it's the king. Now on to Class S, which has probably changed the least out of any of the classes. We have the Centenario at the bottom, followed by the FXXK, then the Egoista and Volcano, which are actually fairly close. Then we have the Lycan, the Terzo, the TS1, which looks like a Super Sport but with worse nitro efficiency, and then a change is putting the Trion Nemesis above the Fenner. Actually, the Trion Nemesis can rival the Regera's times on some tracks. Then of course up top we have the old king, the Bugatti Chiron, and the new king, the Koenigsegg Jesko, which has slightly worse nitro efficiency and acceleration than the Chiron, but its handling is better, its speed while drifting is better, and its top speed is way higher. For the people that manage to unlock the Jesko, even at 2 or possibly even 3 stars, if you can get it there, it will still do very well against the Chiron in multiplayer. And when both are at max, the Jesko will beat the Chiron on the majority of tracks. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to the people who helped on these lists. Please like the video if you've enjoyed it and found it to be useful, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 9 and Forza content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!